Hello everybody and welcome to the Barn Theatre. We're here today for our classical concert in aid of our Chromes for Loan campaign. I'm so grateful to everybody who was donated to already, and particularly grateful for all of the people who will be here today performing along with me. We hope you enjoy our performances. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Barn Theatre, whether you're here with us in person or whether you're watching us via our live stream. We're here to delight you, we hope, with a classical concert for our Chromes for Loan appeal. Lots of you have already donated very generously to this, and we're delighted that we're going to be able to get Chromebooks out to so many of our families to support the children with their learning. And I thought it might be appropriate to start the concert this evening with a piece of music by a composer who was also writing for the newest technology of the day. This is the Roman composer Clementi. He was composing in the classical era, and the brand new instrument that he was writing for was called the pianoforte. Goodness me, the crowds of the times were absolutely amazed because this instrument could play quiet and without moving any stops. It could play loud, you could play legato, you could play staccato, and you could even go gradually from quiet to loud in a crescendo, or go from really loud to really quiet in a decrescendo. And he wrote lots of pieces to show off this instrument. Whether I'm going to show it off now or not, I don't know, but you're going to get the first movement of his Sonatina number 3. Thank you very much. Now we're going to move from the classical era back in time to the Baroque era, to Venice, and to the composer Vivaldi, who you will probably know best as the composer of the Four Seasons. But he was also known as the Red Priest. In fact, he was multi-talented, and he was always doing lots of other things, because he was also a virtuoso violinist, a teacher, and a composer. And he wrote lots and lots of sacred music, including a setting of the Gloria. Now, this evening, we're going to hear the Domine Deus from that Gloria, and what she's well known to the Barn Theatre, but this evening she is singing in a different style and in Latin. Please welcome to the stage Mrs. Jane Gautry. Thank you, Jane. But you didn't know she could sing like that, did you? Right, now we are going to stay in the Baroque era, but we're going to move to Germany and Johann Sebastian Bach. Now, he wrote for loads of vocal pieces, lots of sacred pieces, lots of secular pieces, and lots of things for various keyboard instruments. And he wrote a set of 24 preludes and fugues for what was called the well-tempered clavier. Now, if a well-tempered clavier doesn't mean it wasn't a grumpy one. What it means is that they started to experiment with the technology to see if they could actually get the space between all of the semitones exactly the same. So if you've been learning an instrument and you're having to learn all your scales and arpeggios, this is where it started, because it was all in all of these keys for this well-tempered clavier. The very first prelude in C major is very, very famous, and people have loved it over centuries. And about a century or two later, Charles Gounod, a French romantic composer, wrote another melody over the top. And we're very lucky this evening because we have Mrs. Webb and Mrs. Maroos from school who are going to perform this Ave Maria over Bach's Prelude number 1. Give them a great big cheer as they come to the stage. Thank you very much. Marvellous. Well done, ladies. I think you do need to know how brave all of these people are being. Liz Webb told me earlier that she hasn't actually been up on stage performing on the piano since 1994. All right, so this is quite a big deal for everybody here. Thank you so much. Now we're going to go back to the classical era and back to the piano. Mozart and Clementi were rivals, though actually in the grand history way of things, I think you would probably say that Mozart did win, but they were in kind of playoffs at the time. We're going to hear a slow movement this time, an adagio from one of Mozart's piano sonatas performed by Catherine Francis. Thank you. introduce you to my midlife crisis. Okay, so at the age of 50, I found myself for the first time in many, many years not involved in regular music making. And my husband, it's all his fault, said, is there anything you've always wanted to play? And without hesitation, I said the cello. I want to be able to play the cello, and I want to be able to play Saint-Saëns' The Swan. And so then it was about going off down to Newton's Violins with Gracie Dunn, who's the daughter of one of my friends, who helped me choose the cello, because choosing an instrument is quite important, and it's very difficult to choose one if you can't actually play it. So she came down and we chose one that she made a nice sound on, and then she coaxed me through a few things so that by Christmas I was on Jingle Bells. It sounded awful, but I was on Jingle Bells. And then since the following January, I've been having lessons through Surrey Arts with the wonderful Dr. Andrew Taylor, who I first met when he was conducting the Reigate String Orchestra that my son played in for years and years and years. And I've been going along to St. Bede's on a Saturday morning and queuing up with the children there and going in and getting out my practice book and having to own up if I've not done quite enough practice some weeks. And the lessons have now moved on to Zoom, and I absolutely love them. So this is probably going to be very foolhardy now, because I haven't actually played my cello in public very much at all. And I'm going to give the Swan a go. And afterwards, we'll all decide whether I've yet achieved my goal of being able to play the Swan or not. But we shall see. Let's just see if the cello's making a noise. If you know it, just hum the version you know in your head, and it might help. Here we go. Thank you.
finding the right piece of wording here. Okay, we're back to Mozart, so back to the classical period now. So we're going to sing a piece by Mozart called Ave Verum. It was originally written for 4 voices, 2 female, well, 2 soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. This is an arrangement for 3 female voices, and we're going to perform it. So Jane Gautry, Catherine Francis on soprano, I'm singing alto, Kate Lloyd, and Sarah is accompanying us on the piano. And this was a piece that was sung 30 years ago at Mrs. Lewis's wedding, so there's no pressure.
Fabulous. Thank you, ladies. Actually, what we did was that I actually trained to teach secondary music and French at Homerton College in Cambridge, and there was a group of friends that we had there, and we actually got together as part of the music department and sang this together, and we toured it around each other's weddings for quite a lot, and it was very nice. Thank you very much for that, ladies. Okay, now we're going to move into the Romantic era and have a little bit of Dvorak. Now, in the Romantic era, lots of composers started writing things that were capturing the flavour of the music in their own countries, and the classical music had more of a folk music feel to it as well. Dvorak wrote a whole sequence of humoresques for piano, and this is number 7. It's a very, very famous tune, which is always a bit of a change. I don't know, why did we all choose to do the really famous ones that everybody knows? But anyway, it's going to be fine. This is a piano duet version of this humoresque. Now, because of social distancing, instead of sitting side by side on piano, we've had to have a piano each. So we get a bit more elbow room, but keeping together is a little bit more challenging. I'm delighted to have the chance to perform this humoresque with Mr. Andy Seed. Thank you. Thank you, Andy. I really enjoyed playing that with you. Thank you very much. Okay, so now another composer, Edward Elgar, our great British composer. Now we're coming up to Remembrance Day, and you might hear his Nimrod variation from the Enigma Variations. If you listened to the last night of the Proms, you might have heard his Pomp and Circumstance. But tonight, it's Salut d'amour. It was an engagement present for his wife Caroline, and it was originally for violin, and I've got very fond memories of playing it with my son Chris. Today it's going to be performed on Fruit by Francine Engelbertink, who played it as a surprise item at her own wedding 20 years ago. Let's welcome Francine to the stage. Thank you. Fabulous. I really do love that piece. Thank you, Francine. Okay, now we're back to some piano duets. We're going to a Hungarian composer, Matthias Schieber, and he took lots of influences from Hungarian folk traditions, but he's also been influenced a little bit by jazz, a little bit by folk song, and some lighter music. So to entertain us with a tango and a foxtrot, please welcome back Kate Lloyd and Catherine Francis.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to do something a bit different now. So it's not quite classical, but I think it is a classic. It's called the Disney Dazzle, and it's a medley of 3 Disney songs. So it's songs from Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, and Beauty and the Beast. We're 3 parents at the school. We've got children in angelfish, dolphins, and whales. We don't normally perform, so if there's any funny noise, it's from my teeth chattering where I'm so nervous. So please excuse us, but I hope you enjoy it.
Don't you dare close
thank you, ladies, and well done. And it's been one of the things that's been so lovely about putting this concert together is that so many people have just found a little bit of time to get together and make a little bit of music. And I think it's done us all some good, even if the nerves are a bit strong tonight. And that was just absolutely beautiful. Okay, now we are heading to Gilbert and Sullivan and HMS Pinafore. And we are going to hear the, what is it actually called? Sorry Her Lot, which is also, the HMS Pinafore is sometimes called the lass that loved a sailor. Now, this is going to be sung by Jane Gautry, but she's not being Jane Gautry now. She is being Josephine, who is the captain's daughter. And her father wants her to marry Sir Joseph Porter, but she is in love with the humble sailor, Ralph. Sorry Her Lot, and Jane Gautry. Here we go. Marvellous. Thank you, Jane. Now we're going back to the piano, but into the Romantic era, and with Frédéric Chopin, who is a fabulous virtuoso pianist and has written some of the most fabulous repertoire. We're very lucky tonight because tonight we're going to hear his Grande Valse Brillante, which has been described as technically demanding and expanding the limits of the instrument. And to play it for us this evening, it's Andy Seed. Give him a great round of applause. my gosh. That was amazing. I think you need to give him another great big cheer as he comes out there. Okay, so the next piece will be the final piece in our programme. And I was supposed to start saying to you now, all the facts are in the programme. Unfortunately, all the programmes are in the folder that I left back in the dressing room, and you didn't even get one. So I'm going to have to do the thank yous out loud, and the programmes will be there for you to get when you go out. Lots of people have supported us through this campaign. I know we've got here in the audience, we've got Rebecca Farrell, who's the chair of our PTA, who not only has done all of the Chromathon, and she's done the Nights of the Theatre hampers. It's just made such a fabulous difference to this campaign. Can we give Rebecca a great big clap? And thank you, Rebecca. We've had the support here of Kate York and Matt Hayes, who are helping us be really, really ultra-modern and getting ourselves out there in the digital world so that everybody can enjoy the concert. Obviously, you're here, so this is great. All right, but everybody at home, you're very welcome too. Please be joining in as that goes along. The Barn team have really, really looked after us here, and I'm really grateful for them. So can you please put your hands together for all of the production here, team at the Barn. Thank you. The only reason we're here in the Barn is because our great friend Angie Monsieur, when she saw our campaign, she said, we want to be able to support you. Surely there is something that the Barn can do. And they've offered us free use of the theatre here. All of the team have come in. And when Angie and Bruce, who were the movers and shakers in getting all of this going, discovered when they were in Turkey that they were going to have to quarantine and weren't going to be able to be here this evening, remotely and via Zoom on their holiday, they got this amazing team here. Angie and Bruce, I am so grateful to you. We've had a lovely evening here, and I'm sure it's done us all a lot of good. Can you please give a great big cheer and a shout for Angie and Bruce? Thank you. I want to really, really thank my fellow performers. And I know you will thank them again at the end. And all my staff who've encouraged me in this really quite mad endeavour when we've got one or two other things on. Because I think that they know in times like these, we need to take the time to nourish our souls. And mine is nourished by music. And I feel so blessed that so many people have come and shared their music with me and with us this evening. We're going to end our concert with César Franck's Panis Angelicus. Thank you.